All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Um, yeah, I have a brother put an article in the chat. All right, and it's dealing with um, basically they're talking about the swine flu, but I guess another version of it. Once again in China again. All right, it's from RT News. It says Chinese study sounds alarm over new swine flu with pandemic potential. World Health Organization warns we cannot let our guard down. All right, so let's read a little bit of this. It says the World Health Organization has warned that despite the risk posed by the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, we cannot let our guard down on influenza after a report from China raised alarm over a new swine flu. Now, you know what was interesting is that a couple of days ago I did a video on, I forgot what school it was, Tennessee College or something, or Tennessee, which were saying that they were going to make the COVID-19 vaccine mandatory. But what else? The other thing they said they were going to make mandatory was the flu vaccine as well. Okay, which for the longest, the flu vaccine wasn't really mandatory. All right. But now, you know, that university saying they're going to make it mandatory, all right, along with the coronavirus vaccine is pretty interesting. All right. So it says, we will read carefully the paper to understand what is new. World Health Organization spokesperson Christian Lindmeier told a Geneva briefing on Tuesday in response to the new research. We need to be vigilant and continue surveillance even in the coronavirus pandemic. The remarks came after a study published Monday profiled a new flu virus found in Chinese pigs. And it's always with these pigs, man. It says which had mutated and become more infectious to humans, raising concerns of a potential new pandemic virus at some point in the future, which would be very interesting. Hey, the Lord did say he's going to hit this place with plagues. That's plural. All right. And then people are having trouble now with coronavirus. All right. Well, here they talking about another flu virus, which has a possibility of becoming another pandemic. So imagine dealing with that. It says Chinese researchers studying influenza viruses among pig populations between 2011 and 2018 conducted 30,000 nasal swabs from animals in 10 provinces and found 179 swine flu viruses, the majority of which were of a new kind. Okay. It says the study describes pigs as important mixing vessels for pandemic influenza viruses, adding that one particular virus, the G4 strain of H1N1, boasted all the essential hallmarks of the candidate pandemic virus. The newly identified G4 virus is a recombination of the H1N1 strain identified in 2009, which led to a major quarantine in China at the time, and a previous strain of swine influenza. So now they're bringing up this, which, we'd have to wait and see, all right, where this is going to go. All right, if this is also going to become another outbreak that gets out of hand, okay, or not. But, hey, as the scriptures say, man, the times we're coming into with Jacob's trouble, it's not going to be just one thing you're dealing with, whether it's one pandemic. And no. It's going to be so much that it's going to get out of control. All right. And people are going to understand that this is from a divine power. All right, there'll be no doubt about that. It says in animal studies, including on ferrets whose immune response can often be quite similar to humans, G4 was found to be highly infectious, replicating in implanted human cells and causing more serious symptoms than expected. Interesting. Being that now, all right, soon we're going to be approaching the fall into the winter. Okay, that's when, according to these scientists, these viruses and diseases thrive. Okay, it says more than 1 in 10 workers who handled swine had already been infected with G4, according to antibody blood tests conducted by the study authors. To make matters worse, some 4.4% of the general population tested had already been exposed, showing that the virus had passed from animal to human, but has yet to transmit human to human. Oh boy. It says it is of concern that human infection of G4 virus will further human adaptation and increase the risk of a human pandemic, the researchers wrote. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said his government would take all necessary measures to prevent the spread and outbreak of any virus. So, you had this whole lockdown because of the coronavirus, all right, which some are saying that we're still in phase one or wave one of the coronavirus with an expected second wave to hit, and now you're having to deal with G4 virus, which comes from this influenza virus. Okay, so what happens when what if by the time you find out if it's human to human transmission, people have already left China and are in other places spreading it. Now you're gonna have two pandemics on your hands. It says Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman. Oh, I read that already. However, at present there appears to be no imminent threat, according to Carl T. Bergstorm, professor of biology at the University of Washington. What the paper does do is something important for the epidemiological community. It points to a virus that we need to be keeping a careful eye on, the scientist tweeted about the new research. But every indication is that the G4 virus would have to undergo some evolutionary change to spread rapidly in people, and it may never do that. Oh, okay. But understanding that, pursuant to Daniel 12 and 1 and Jeremiah 30 and 7, the times we're coming into, things are going to be happening that you never expected to happen. So, yeah, in a regular, type of time, like you said, it would need some evolutionary change. If the Most High wanted to, he could easily do that. He could hit you with something far worse than a G4 virus. All right, but let me read this, and he will actually. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy." All right, so that's why we do these videos. We go out there in the highways and byways. That's a way of us speaking, all right, in the ears of our people. Okay, the words of prophecy, because we're telling them what's going to happen, the future. It says, "Which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord," which shows you that this is not of us, it's really of the Lord. All right, and that goes into being able to break down these scriptures and tie in current events into biblical prophecy. It says, "And cause them to be written in paper," which is why we have the scriptures as we do today. "For they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity," meaning the disbelief or unbelief, "of them trouble thee that speak against thee." Because of course you'll have people who would speak against what we teach because they don't believe it. All right, but we're not to let that bother us. "For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness," because when the time comes, guess what? They're going to get caught up in the midst of Jacob's trouble. "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world." You understand that? The sword, famine, death, and destruction. This is the vibration, all right, that's going to be on the earth. Okay, plagues upon the world, not just in one country or one city or one county. It's going to be all over the world. For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. And because the scriptures say the Lord is what? Long suffering. All right. It says, "Which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually." A precept for that is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. All right, the righteous are what? Complaining, like Lot. It tells you that, I believe it's in the book of Peter. It mentions how Lot was vexed with the filthy conversation of the basically the inhabitants of that land. Okay, and that's the same thing here. We see the wickedness going on here, and we complain to the Lord. All right, verse 9. "And therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them." All right, which goes into those who died in the past to even the those who will die. All right, martyrs. Those who have to be martyrs. All right, and so on and so forth. Verse 10. "Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. And that's, hey, that's really, that's exactly what we're gonna see happening. Okay, our people are gonna be, they're gonna be getting slaughtered left and right. Okay, I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Now this is not talking about ancient Egypt, all right, is referring on to the modern day Egypt, all right, which we read about here, Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. Why? Because at the time that we're reading about Second Esdras, this was way after way after we had left Egypt. Okay, way after Ezra came way later on. Okay, so we know it's not talking about ancient Egypt. All right, Revelation 11 and 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. The great city, you can read about that in Revelation the 17th chapter. All right, getting to the ending, it explains how that great city is basically Babylon the Great. All right, which is America. It says, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Why? Because this place carries the spirit of Sodom and Egypt. All right, the things that they were doing there, the witchcraft and wicked, perverse practices that they were doing back in Sodom and Egypt. America has embodied that spirit and does the same thing and worse here. It says where also our Lord was crucified. All right, spiritually that is, because we know the Lord wasn't crucified in Egypt or Sodom, or literally that is, or in America. So we're gonna come back to Second Ezra 15. All right, now we know that Egypt is referring on to America or Babylon the Great. So the Lord said, what is He gonna do? I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched forth arm out of uh, a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Now the land of Egypt wasn't destroyed; it's still there today. But it's talking about this place. America will be destroyed, but it will be hit with plagues. Okay, now when you read in Wisdom of Solomon, the 17th chapter and the 18th chapter, it tells you about the plagues that Egypt was hit with. Okay, it goes into detail as to how scary and tormented the Egyptians were. Verse 12: Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Lord, or that the Most High, shall bring upon it. All right. So when we see things like this, all right, about this G4 virus and so on and so forth, it's just a part of the prophecies, because we know that this place, before it goes down, is going to experience pestilence like never before. All right. Famines like never before. Chaos on a whole nother level. All right. And that's going to be in that time of Jacob's trouble. Okay. So with that, that was just an update. Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.